to Crypto Clothesline. We're glad to be here with you. Hanging out the crypto laundry. Getting all the crypto info for you. Crypto Clothesline. Crypto Clothesline.
Good morning, good morning.
Hello.
Welcome to Crypto Clothesline. Sorry, I felt like bursting into song.
It's hard not to when you listen to it all the time. And also, do your kids sing it? Because my daughter does.
My kids love it. The boys less so, but they kind of hum it as they're doing the dishes and then they look around embarrassedly, making sure nobody's heard. My daughter just flings herself across the room singing it. And you know, we've had some pretty interesting feedback. Some people just think it's so cheesy and they want us to change it. And other people love it. I kind of love it. It is a bit cheesy, but I'm cool with that.
I think it's memorable. And yes, we've definitely had, particularly in Twitter, a couple of comments that they had to fast forward through the intro because it was painful, quote. But like, whatever. It's staying like that because now you actually typed a Twitter post about it. Thank you very much for that algorithmic love.
And the free advertising. You know, like even bad advertising is advertising. Can you get a screenshot of those Twitter comments just so we can put it in the show notes? That would be good fun.
Oh, that was from ages ago. I'm going to have to go back in time. Unlikely. Okay. But you could probably go, you know what would be even better? If you want to see them, just go to the Crypto Clothesline podcast, and I'm sure if you scroll back to when we first started or months ago, you'll see the mentions there and the sniff. Actually, do you know what it was? It was the people who were listening to our interview with Crypto Gat, and I think it was episode 1, and we posted that on Twitter, and we had a fair bit of response from the episode with Crypto Gat, and there was a lot of people who listened to it because they are traders, some of them, a lot of guys who I guess didn't really like the sound of it. It was grating to them.
Well, guess what? They're not our avatar. So thanks, guys, for the free advertising.
Exactly. I'll try and find it. I'll take a screenshot maybe.
We actually have to acknowledge those men, those people, those cynics, because they're the reason that the Crypto Clothesline was born, darling.
I think so. A nice, beautiful, soft cloud landing space for women to come. Awesome. Anyway, how are you going? What are you doing with your life? How is Where to Shop with Crypto?
Oh, Where to Shop with Crypto is very interesting. We're at the state of speaking to business owners, and some people love the idea. Some people are like, what? And other people are like, why would I want to pay with drug money, as I mentioned in the episode? But, you know, it's a mixed bag because of awareness with the masses. I mean, that sounds a bit silly, but awareness with people on a ground floor level varies a lot. And I heard a statistic just this week that only 13% of Australians have or know about cryptocurrency and blockchain.
Wow. So, like know about it, as in, do you know about cryptocurrency? Do you know about Bitcoin? And they say no?
Well, do you remember the other day we had that interview with Coincast TV around Crypto Clothesline? That was very cute. Actually, we should put that into our show notes as well. And in that interview, the interviewer went round and spent a day and a half talking to people and asking them what Bitcoin is. And most people might have heard of it, but they had no clue. They might have heard of it and they thought it was dodgy. They might have heard of it and they just thought it was tech speak. So people may have heard of it, but it doesn't feel like it's part of their daily language. So if you think about, oh yeah, I love Bitcoin, I've got Bitcoin, this is how I use it, I've got a wallet. No, that's 13% of the population. And probably, I don't know what the percentage is, but of that 13%, I'm assuming a huge percentage of that would be men and would be potentially geeks, tech heads who really do get it. So I think we've got a long way to go to making it commonplace knowledge. And that's where we're at with Where to Shop with Crypto, is just talking to people and trying to convert that sort of thinking from whatever to, oh my gosh, yeah, that sounds really exciting. How can I know more?
Awesome. And I think that's the only way forward. If you've got a point of sale system, which you guys are delivering to people in Fremantle, then that is the only way to mass adoption. People having a point of sale system where they can literally go in and buy things. So You might be just talking to people, but that's more than the first step, because you've already gone out and done the hard work and created a plan, and it's already happening. So it's awesome.
Well, you were the person who actually planted this idea in my mind, and it was such a simple concept, but like good Italian pizza, it goes across a globe and across centuries. You were the one who said, well, those simple stickers, that whole thing of people seeing the icon and seeing the words Bitcoin accepted here, it's just that repetitive contact with that information before it becomes mainstream, before it becomes well known.
Yeah, I was asked to speak at an event where they said, we need you to talk about why people accepting cryptocurrency is essential. And I think what they wanted me to talk about was the benefits to merchants and the benefits to buyers. But I know that it is beneficial to some people to a degree. Merchants usually aren't going to get a whole heap of customers straight up because no one's spending their crypto. But for the whole community, just like sales works, if you see a certain advertisement all the time, you start to trust it. And that's where we all have to get together, get some Bitcoin stickers or cryptocurrency stickers, whatever you want, put them up outside your house, put them on your door, put them outside your shop, whether you accept it or not. Just keep putting up those stickers, keep talking about it, because the more you do that, you're growing the community even further. People are starting to trust it because they trust you.
They trust you, but also that notion and what you were speaking about in earlier this morning about the visual image, icons, videos, photographs, that even that old saying, a picture paints 1,000 words. Just seeing that repetitively, that point of contact in marketing, they're now saying it used to be 7 touch points before people would make a purchase decision. Because of our digital marketing and all the imagery that we're exposed to now, it's now between 18 and 20 touch points before people will make a purchase decision. So if you think about having those icons and those stickers, whatever form it takes, around the community, then yes, it's going to become a lot easier for people to know, like, and trust. All right, moving right along. Today we are the Crypto Clothesline. We would like to welcome you to our podcast.
Our names are amy-rosegoodey and Abida Catherine Pass, and we're speakers in blockchain and crypto, and we're on this mission.
We're learning together with you. We're talking with leading experts in the space. We're exploring cutting-edge technology projects that are shaping the future for our children.
This podcast is for intelligence and growth, and our values are for peace, harmony, and collaboration for the planet.
And on that note, on our show today, we have a lovely guest, Amanda Alexiuc, which we think is a very sexy surname. And she comes from Living Room of Satoshi,
who are our foundational sponsors, who had our backs from when we were just babies. And we took our time, a bit sucky on our part. But anyway, we are so incredibly excited to have Amanda on the show.
Exactly. Amanda is a mother. She is fresh and new, at least she was 12 months ago, to the tech space. And she's one of the biggest and sweetest fans of the Crypto Clothesline.
It was so good having her on. Let's have a listen.
Yeah.
Okay, I just had to click that button. Okay, done.
Okay, let's not edit any of that. Let's just go with the complete raw, uncut version.
Okay. Now, first, Amanda, do I pronounce your name Alexiuc?
Alexius.
Oh my God, that's so hot.
Yeah,
Amanda
really
Alexius.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, married into the right family. Got rid of the one I didn't want.
Anyway.
Makes you sound like some sort of Titan warrior or something.
It does. I know.
Yeah.
I'm so not. Complete opposite.
Yes, you bloody are. Don't say that about yourself. All right. Welcome to Crypto Clothesline, Amanda Alexius. You are you're the Client Relations Associate at Living Room of Satoshi, and you're joining us today about being a woman in crypto and how it's all going for you. Welcome.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Abidi. Thanks for having me so much. I'm very excited. I do have a little bit of a girl crush on both of you. I was
Come for a wine, please.
Well, I was really nervous about getting into this industry, and then I discovered you ladies, and it made me so excited because I didn't realize that there were so many amazing women in the industry. And by listening to all your podcasts has made me even more excited and made me feel more comfortable in the space. So thank you very much.
That is such a beautiful compliment. Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
And also, thank you to Living Room with Satoshi, who are one of our first sponsors. They actually trusted in us from the get-go, from like episode 10 or something, and we contacted them and they're like, yeah, sure. So
You know something good when you see it, that's why.
Oh, well,
So-
your Living Room with Satoshi is actually one of our foundational sponsors, and it's just a huge wave of gratitude from us back to you for having that faith in us.
Thank you. Well, you've proved us true, that's for sure.
So, Amanda, the first question is,
Yep.
how long have you been in the space? And can you give us a little story about your feelings and your experiences from going from, I guess, just your experiences as a mother and as a woman going from normal life into this big, dark crypto hole? Did you hear that? Storm?
Whoa. Yes.
We've got one here too. Rain
Awesome.
and
Don't edit that out. That was amazing.
Okay, I don't know, the power might go out soon,
Okay.
so let's
I'll
just
keep going. Oh, I can talk quick.
Okay, go.
So for going from being a mother, going into this space, into this whole crypto realm,
Oh.
how's that transition been for you?
Well, I come from childcare. I'm from education, and I wanted to get back into the workforce, but I really wanted to do something completely different. I wanted to learn something new, and I kept hearing some friends talk about this Bitcoin and blockchain. I just thought it was nerd talk.
Me too.
And then I was like, I either have to start getting some new friends or I'm going to have to learn about what it is, because they just didn't stop talking about it. So I decided to learn what it is, and I got really excited over something that I really didn't think that I would. But it was so new, and I haven't really been in it long. I'm still a noob. I've only been doing this for 12 months. So there is so much to learn. But I think it's kind of an evolving space. So it's kind of a continual learning environment at the same time.
Do you know, Amanda, recently we had a meetup and I said, okay, we're just going around the table. Can you tell us, what you know about the space? And we had people who'd never heard of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right through to miners,
Oh, wow.
Bitcoin miners sitting at the table who bored us endlessly. No, they weren't boring, but they went on endlessly with all this tech speak. And there is such a continuum within the culture. So having been in it 12 months, you're actually not a newbie anymore.
Really?
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
You're a bit of a seasoned,
Oh,
you're a bit
really?
of a seasoned
Oh,
expert.
seasons like my hair. That's lovely.
Can you tell us about your role at Living Room of Satoshi, and can you also tell the listeners exactly what Living Room of Satoshi is all about?
I would love to. Living Room of Satoshi is a site where you can turn your cryptocurrency into paying everyday bills. So we're only in Australia at the moment, but we are looking at expanding to New Zealand in the next really near future, which would be amazing. So you can use your cryptocurrency. We have over 14 different ones that you can choose from, and you can pay your electricity, your car, your mobile phone. You can buy a cup of coffee, or you can just give yourself money and pay it into your own bank account. And I just help out with those transactions and also help with the customer service side of things as well.
When you say customer service, do you mean that people are having problems, or are they software issues? Or are you? What exactly is your role?
It tends to be user error. Most of the time, if you provide a service to somebody, and there's normally a few people that struggle understanding how to use, especially because it's a new cryptocurrency is such a new thing. Some people don't know how to, as though even though we've made it as simple as possible, some people still make mistakes. And also because there's a number of ways people can do things. Either there's so many wallets to choose from. Some wallets take out fees beforehand, or you have to add your own fees on top of that. But we don't have fees ourselves. So what you get given on the website is what you need to pay.
That's a really good point. I was actually talking about Living Room of Satoshi just yesterday, and I was on the phone with one of the key people from Travel by Bit, and they were mentioning that they use Living Room of Satoshi as their exchange platform, so to speak, for when people are making transactions at a shop. They open the Travel by Bit app, and they scan, and people can buy things with cryptocurrency. And one of somebody that I know asked me, well, which exchange do they use? Because Bitcoin can be worth this much on one exchange, this much on another exchange. How do we know where our exchange is happening from? And the person from Travel by Bit really explained it really well, and basically said that the Living Room of Satoshi have got a lower rate than most other exchanges, which is a fabulous service.
Thank you. Yeah. Wow, it sounds like it's raining at your house. Sorry. It's bucketing down.
This is my it's getting pretty heavy.
Sorry.
At least you have the lawnmower guy there today.
Yeah, lucky.
Yeah, we're partnered up with Travel by Bit, who are amazing, and we help them to pay through their merchants. They use our system, which is great. Which is also another thing that I was going to say is, if you look up on the Travel by Bit website, down the bottom they have a section that you can click where it talks about global merchant map. And it comes up with a map of Australia, so you can choose your state and see whereabouts all the merchants are. So you can use all your cryptocurrency, so where you can use it, which I think is just a handy thing to know.
Yeah.
If you're looking at,
Yeah, it's a really useful.
Even they've got plumbers on there and cafes, and I like the bars and the hotels. You can find anything.
I think we're going to have to get together at one of those soon for a G&T.
I think so too. I have to say, I'm not a Bitcoin millionaire or thousandaire or centaire, but what I have done is any profits that I've made, maybe I should not explain how much profit, but whatever, I've basically had free bills. That's how I see it, because when I have an electricity bill, I go to you guys with the crypto that I've profited from so basically I've made free money and I pay for my bills with it. And I feel like that's where Living Room of Satoshi comes in, because you actually get to...
It's a really great point that you make. Yeah, you do.
Put it to use.
And the thing, that's what we tend to do too. And especially coming up at this time of year, it's a great way to pay your credit cards. They tend to get racked up at this time towards the end of the year. So you can pay your credit cards with us. You can use the money to put into your bank account when Bitcoin or whatever coin you choose to use goes up, like you said, then it's kind of like free money.
So it's almost like when when you're in a bull market. So let's say at the moment things are moving sideways, and people are not really excited about spending their crypto. But when you're in a bull market and there's lots of cream over and above whatever you spent to get into the crypto market, then you are effectively using that excess profit or contributions or whatever it is. You're actually using that to pay your bills. So listeners could jump onto Living Room of Satoshi, use their Bitcoin, or what other currencies do you accept? Bitcoin, Litecoin,
we've got 14
Ether.
different currencies. We've got Bitcoin, Lightning, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dash, Ripple, BCH, Monero, NEM, Ethereum Classic, Zcash, Pivex, Dogecoin, and Bitcore.
Wow, so you could jump onto your platform and you can pay your bills using those
and we're always
cryptocurrencies.
taking new recommendations. So it's about the community and about what everybody else would like. So if anybody else wants to let us know what they like, just email us, and then the more people that let us know, then the more we can add them on.
Share the love. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your background. You said you have a background in childcare, and you and I have some parallels there, because that's actually how Amy, Rose and I met. Yeah. And I think that women who work in childcare and educators can often be perceived by the culture in the same way that we paint, hairdressers and those sort of classic lines of work that women get sort of steamrolled into, even mothering to a degree, as we can often get looked down upon by other echelons of society. Let's say, the professionals and the lawyers and the accountants. And I remember working in that role thinking, my gosh, I have the most esteemed job in the world. I'm taking care of the most precious gems in your lives, talking to parents. Next generation, but apart from that, as mothers, and we know how much work it goes into to create a baby, to make a baby, to feed a baby, all the growing of a child. And I think that's just a really interesting point to bring to light, given that we've got a podcast that's all about women and women landing softly in this space, is that we really need to estimate in high esteem the role of women in childcare, and maybe change that persona from sort of the way that it's dumbed down into women who really have an incredibly responsible role. And wouldn't it be amazing if we could look at childcare projects sort of getting those somehow involved in blockchain and cryptocurrency. I mean, imagine if can you pay your childcare fees using Living Room of Satoshi?
If it's going to an Australian bank account, you certainly can.
Oh, of course it would be, because that's how I used to run a family daycare, and that's how Amy Rose and I know each other. And maybe Amy Rose, we could have done it that way back then.
I was just going to say, I love what you're doing with children and educating them. And I coming from childcare in the preschool years, we used to have a maths program that we used to teach them, and it just made me think of the blockchain and think of the activities that you do with them and how we could easily implement that into education and teach children from a young age so that it becomes the norm, so that they can have this as part of life, because this is the future of banking and this is the future.
Yeah, it's exactly. Like the future of money now.
We're teaching them from a young age.
And it might actually be that Amanda, Living Room of Satoshi, and Crypto and Kids could get together, seeing as there's educators on both sides. We could maybe have a side project.
I think that's
like fun, not work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Planting the seed.
I mean, we're all working really hard in this industry. Everyone that I know who has a project is, pretty much doing all-nighters and up until the early hours, even if we do have children. However, I am having so much fun. Like, I'm loving it. It's such a vibrant,
I was talking to a girlfriend the other day, and we're both working mums, and we were like, okay, all we have to do is find the balance between work and family. And then we both just laughed and went, it's just, every mum goes
like to there bed. Isn't one.
What? Wait, do you have any tips? Because I got no idea.
No. I had a business mentor once, and he said, it's absolutely ridiculous, this whole notion that you find a balance between work and family life. And he goes, if you find a balance, you're either lying flat on your back, i.e., you've passed on, or you're standing up and you're not moving forward, because, he goes, you're either tipping in each direction, and the movement either into family or into work indicates momentum and movement. And he goes, you're not finding a balance which is static. You're constantly on a sort of a tightrope, and that's part of the creative energy of being both a parent and a worker, whether it's your own business or you're passionate
definitely.
about
It's either going to bed feeling like I've failed my children, or regretting that I have to clean the kitchen in the morning, or that I haven't finished an email, or but I wouldn't change it for the world, because I love my job and I love my kids, so it's just hectic, that's all.
Like my partner, he works away, he's on FIFO, and he just came home and he kind of looked at the house exasperated, and he got the fact he was home, hadn't slept for 30 hours. He looked like, he wanted to go to bed, let's say, in a nice way. And he got the vacuum out and just silently, with fumingly vacuumed the house. I'm like, good on you, darling, thank you. And it's like, well, you know what? I haven't done this since you left. And guess what? I do other things. So really something has to give. And if it's creating more immunity by having a slightly more bacteria around your house, I think we can do that, don't you?
So a silver lining.
That's what I think of. But one thing I have found though, being at, I've only been to a few blockchain conferences. I haven't been to as many as I would like so far, is that there are becoming more women. Like, listening to your Ladies on the Lounge was fantastic. That was a great podcast. I loved hearing all the different varieties of women that were there. And the one that I attended, they seemed to just gravitate to each other after. It's just a woman thing, I think. But there was there was young, like, teenagers, and then there was people that had retired and were just looking to learn. But everyone was so happy to communicate and share their knowledge. And that was one thing that I found really encouraging.
Oh, thank you. That was one of my questions that I wanted to ask you. So, Tick, you've done that. Now, thank you. No, please don't. I wanted to ask you, in a beautiful email that you crafted to us, and I wondered if I could have your permission to please use that within the show notes, parts of it, and also as a testimonial on our website. No. If you're happy with that, you can say no and I can edit this bit out. But you mentioned that you loved listening to JP Parker, and you said that you really, you had felt a bit concerned about working in tech, and after listening to somebody like her speak about the tech space, you felt sort of an ease.
Yeah,
Can
just
you
another
talk a
girl
little
crush.
bit more about that?
I just no.
Not just.
She's amazing, that woman. She is so full of knowledge, but in no way is she cocky about it. She's just very human and down to earth and happy to teach people. So listening to her made me feel like, yeah, I can do this. I'm okay to learn something new, and it's okay to be a woman in a mainstream men industry. The more women that do it, then the more encouraging it is, and the more we encourage other people to do it. So the more of us that get in, but then, sorry, I was going to say, at the same time, I'm not downing men either, because they have been nothing but helpful and amazing, so, and encouraging.
There are lots of beautiful men in this space. I totally agree.
Such beautiful men.
Oh, she's going to talk about the man mug now.
Anyway, no. Amanda, you mentioned that, you know, you're able to freely chat with other women about it. How is that going, though? Like, do you have friends who sort of switch off when you talk to them now, or are your friends interested, or do they just like not invite you to parties anymore? How does it all go?
No, we had one recently.
No,
you had to come to
when I first started, I kept chewing the ear off everyone because I was so excited about what I was learning. And I'm still excited, but I have learned to pick the people. People tend to be very opinionated. I don't know why. When they know nothing about it, they either love it, they hate it, or they're interested in it. And they will tell you in the first 5 seconds. So it just depends on who it is that you're talking to. Some friends have taken it on and want to learn more, and other people would prefer to just switch off and tell me to be quiet. Yeah. I'm fine with that, though. I like
I've been there.
So that's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It's a really good point you make, though, because the mass media can paint things in any light that they wish, or that they're being directed to paint things in, you know, depending on who owns their organisation. And you know, recently I was talking to some business owners and asking them about crypto payments. And I said, you know, can you imagine how interesting it would be if I could come in and pay for my pizza? And we go to this restaurant all the time. If I could pay for my pizza with Bitcoin just on my wallet. And he went, what? You want to buy pizza with drug money? And I was like, oh.
I find that very frustrating as well, because it's not that you can pay with your card, like your normal bank card, through your phone now. So to me, what's the difference between doing that and using cryptocurrency? No one's going to tell the difference except for you. So it's like living room of Satoshi. I just see it as like going to the Coles store and doing self-checkout. You're swiping your own Coles items or Woolies items, and you're paying for it yourself with your own, you're just doing it yourself rather than somebody else having a clerk do it for you. So to me, that's the same as paying over living room of Satoshi, or paying with your own wallet via Bitcoin or whatever one you choose. Yeah, I
think that's a really good analogy, because it is that simple, isn't it? You're literally just using your own device to pay for your own goods. Thanks for coming, and see you later.
So, Amanda, how did you even, like, coming from a childcare sort of background, I mean, I know that you're awesome. I just want to say this. I know you're great, and that obviously you're going to get a job at Living Room of Satoshi, as you call it now, but anyway, however you pronounce it. How did you get that position? Like, did you hear about crypto and then chase it, or did they think that you're amazing?
Oh, crumbs, I'm not that good.
We'll convert you? Or like, how did that swing?
I did hear about it. I have some friends and relatives that are in the industry, and I chased it. I was very like, I want in while it's new. Can I please have a job? And I just annoy people until I get one.
Nice.
Can I share a saying that my mum used to say to me about boyfriends? It goes like this: let them chase you until you've caught them.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing the hard yards, but at the end, they're the ones that are lucky.
It does sound like my Red Rooster. Not as cool as Living Room of Satoshi, but like Who said that? Was that you, BT? Definitely not. Anyway, my first job, I was like, I'm definitely going to get a job at Red Rooster. All the cool kids work there. And I went there in my boxer shorts, not knowing anything. They're like, no. My dad's like, keep going. So like the next week, go up there, slightly better dressed, but left my bike in the store. No. And I went back and back and back until I was, I guess, more appropriately dressed, still wearing thongs and shorts and my brother's shirt. I guess they gave up on me because they're like, stop annoying us. Fine, we'll give you the job. Anyway.
Yes. You're about to swear then, weren't you?
Dedication.
Well, I mean, I just want to share a quick HJ moment. I used to be a burger bird at Hungry Jack's. Yes, in the days of Mission Brown nylon flares, and I could even dig up a photo of me standing there looking ashamedly ashamed with with my stripy shirt and my nylon flares over the fry counter. It was a tragedy. So
definitely,
hats off to all the chicks that have done the hard yards
somewhere,
or who are still doing the hard yards.
Bloody hell, yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we teach it to our kids, and it's all about persistency, isn't it? And if we've gone through those experiences, not that we necessarily want our kids to all go out and get jobs as burger birds, but I want my kids to be financially free, but I also want them to learn what it means to work hard, to try hard, to not give up, to not fall down in the face of a no, just keep going back for more, baby. Because we do live in this era of people that have this easy, happy now mentality. I want it now. I want it yesterday. I mean, I've just been following a whole chat on Afterpay with all these different women commenting on Afterpay, this whole notion that you get the item now and then you go into the lay-by situation. So you don't have to wait. You get it straight away. And for the consumer, they're getting into deeper and deeper debt. And for the retailer, they're just rubbing their hands together going, cool. Yeah, and so I think this whole notion of decentralized money, the whole notion of living room Satoshi and all of that, it's all about if you've got the Bitcoin, then you can pay for it. And if you don't, you don't. So thanks for coming. I think it's all about personal responsibility.
Sure.
And I'm right
especially
up there
with our kids.
Okay. Amanda, before we go, we have a question that we ask most of our guests. I'm pretty sure you're aware of it. It's please share with us a quote or a mantra or a saying that you would like to share with
I can't choose between
the audience.
Because there's one that I really have on my wall for work, which is there's no such thing as failure. Either you win or you learn. And I like applying that to my children as well. And then my personal favourite is life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, but learning to dance in the rain. Because that's true. Yeah. Storm. Yeah.
Isn't that applicable right now? We're both in the weather.
Well, you girls go out and boogie, and I've got a lovely spring day over here, not to rub it in or anything.
It's beautiful. It's refreshing. It's washing away the smog.
The lawn clippings.
There's just one more thing. If anyone would like to know how to use Living Room as Satoshi, if I haven't explained it very well, on our facts page we have a new video that's just been put up that does step-by-step instructions on how to go through the process of a transaction. And also, if you searched us on YouTube, there's quite a few tutorials that customers have made, and we've got our new video up there as well. Yeah, sure.
Why don't you share those links with us, and we'll put a link to the Satoshi website, but we'll also put a link to the YouTube ones. If you could share them with us, and we'll put those in the show notes to make it really easy for listeners to access your services.
And Amanda, I don't know if you know, but I sent in a tutorial once to Living Room as Satoshi.
A tutorial or testimonial?
No. I did a tutorial.
I'm going to have to Google it.
Oh, right.
Like a walkthrough, video walkthrough, and I sent it to them. They would remember. They said, "Oh, you have a really good voice for this," or something. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a podcast."
Yeah.
And the relationship flourished from there. Well, why don't we get that one, Amy Rose? Let's get the one that you sent in. That's even better.
I don't know if it's even better. You see, it's from a while back before I started the Um,
Let's upload it to our...
oh my God. Okay.
That would be good fun, and we could even
fantastic. I
upload it
love
to our YouTube channel. So it's a little bit of cross pollination. That's good fun.
All right, fine.
Oh, so much fun. Look, Amanda, thank you
That
so much
sounds
for joining us. I
fantastic.
can't
Thanks
wait
so
to
much
meet you
for
in
having me,
person,
ladies.
and
I
we'll
hope
have
you
that
enjoy the rest of
chin
your
with a
day.
gin and tonic before we know it, darling.
Yes.
Thanks, Amanda. Oh, before you go, see in the little chat it says BitDash. So when you get a Telegram account, that's my handle. If you search for me, just send me a message and I'll add you to the Women in Blockchain groups.
All right, thanks, girls. See you.
Awesome.
Fantastic. All right.
Okay, thanks, Amanda. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
What I really enjoyed about listening to Amanda was she's a lady who comes from a childcare background, so we have some shared sort of relevant knowledge there together. She is somebody who said, I wanted something different. I knew I needed to get back into the workforce. And she's talking about a situation that I think every mother faces. It's like, I've been in Babiesville, I've been changing pooey nappies, I've been cleaning houses, washing clothes, doing all the stuff we do. Now I'm going to get back into the workforce. What am I going to do? And most women are filled with a void as if they have nothing to offer. And yet, if you think about the work of being a mother, of being a person at home caring for children and often a partner and doing all the things that you juggle as a mother, you're basically like a manager of a massive organization. And the question of multi-skilling, can we multi-skill or not? I don't know, but you are capable of jumping in and out of various roles in order to make this mechanism, this machine of the family move forward. So I think the conversation with Amanda is completely relevant for women in general, but especially women who've experienced getting back into the workforce after motherhood.
Oh, and the conversation about balance and how you said, like, you're not going to have it. Like, just dream on, just try and achieve something similar to what balance would look like. And that's what I'm going for. Because
I think, the whole notion of balance is like, nah, you're going to trip up. So just, dust yourself off, get up and keep walking, baby, and then you're going to trip up again, just like your kids do. So you get up and you keep walking.
And I see other mums, they're stay-at-home mums, and far out, I'm envious of them because of the amount of time they get to spend with their children. But they have mama guilt as well. And I'm like, what the hell? You go out with your children like every day. You spend time with them every day. And it just goes to show it doesn't matter how amazing you are. I still think you're always going to have that guilt. Like, you're just not the best mum that you could be, but you're doing the best that you can. And I think we really need to lay off ourselves.
I think that's a really good point, and I think there are two streams of thought that come up for me with that. One is that, J.P. Parker is a classic one for quoting this, but that as women we're sort of emerging out of 5,000 years of control and domination. And B, that I think any conscious human being is constantly questioning their actions, constantly questioning their languaging, constantly questioning the way they've reacted or responded to a given situation and saying, okay, I did that, but how could I have done that better? Or how could I do that differently next time? Perhaps is a better way of phrasing it. So any parent, I think, who's a conscious parent, not to feel guilt, but to actually question yourself and to move forward with a certain amount of consciousness and presence, I actually think that shows signs of being a healthy human. The opposite of that, of somebody who goes, yeah, well, stuff you, lady, I'm doing it this way and you can go and stick it up your knickers. Well, you don't really want to deal with those kinds of people because they're so rigid in one way.
Yeah, and I guess that's not a self-development sort of person, but I still think that there's not many mums out there who don't have their children's best interests at heart. So
Absolutely.
It's not like you go out of your way to ignore them. You just, oh man, I'm just digging a hole for myself. But I just want everyone all the mums out there to be like, you know what? If you've got a job and you're supporting your family, that's cool.
Yeah.
Keep on doing that. You're doing the best you can.
And also look at what you're modeling. I mean, it's beautiful for stay-home mums, and I was that for a little while and had to dive back into work because it was, sink or swim. And it is that way for many families. And I really feel that it's an important point you're making about not feeling guilty about that. It's also part of the culture we live in. Many of us don't have extended family around. Many of us don't have the village that it takes to raise a child. So we're bloody well doing the best we can with the resources we've got. And quite frankly, that's pretty shit hot, in my opinion.
I think so too. Let's just fly our flag.
We
are workaholic mums. Well, I am.
I think we're sending an amazing message to our children. I think we're sending an amazing message to our daughters. We're not lying back and going, oh my gosh, life's just so tough. And, we're just going, okay, come on. We're doing the best we can. We're going to spend a night together watching a movie, or we're going to play cards. We're going to do colouring in. We're going to do crafts, God forbid. But we are
also glitter. Don't even get me started.
The bane of modern life. But we're also saying, hey, I'm cool if you want to read a book right now on the couch next to me because I'm writing a blog. I mean, my 8-year-old daughter has started her own blog. She wants to write a blog. And I'm like, cool, you can have my computer when I'm finished with it, because she doesn't have her own and she won't have her own for a long time. I said to her, yeah, great, get a pen and paper and start writing your blog by hand, because it's coming straight from your hand, through your arm onto the page. And that's that whole free flow writing and what have you.
How did she go?
Well, she wrote, I with her permission, I could perhaps enclose a couple of paragraphs of that in the show notes. It was really beautiful. It was a story about a girl, and actually, I don't know whether I should.
Okay.
It was a story about a girl, and her parents both had to go to work. And
oh my God.
I know. Here we go. And, she's obviously working things out as she writes, like I said, free flow. And she went off to school, and when she came home from school, her house had burnt down. And in her house, she found her child parents, because they actually hadn't gone to work. And so it was, I don't think we'll include that bit. I think we'll cut that bit.
Okay, cut that bit.
But what I am saying is, like, the art of creative imagination, the art of writing, the art of my daughter is seeing me write stuff and saying, I'm going to write too. You know what? We're giving a beautiful example to our kids.
Yeah.
That's another way of looking at it.
Mm.
Can I just give you a super quick quote here? I know this is a longie. I'm going to be quick. But there was a counsellor that I spoke to years ago, and it was all on this notion of mama guilt. And I was like, I work so much and I'm worried about my kids. They're not getting the same as other kids. They're not getting the same opportunities. And she's from New York, and I'm not going to try and copy a Brooklyn accent because, it's just going to sound crap. But what she said to me is, okay, do you want kids that are grown in a greenhouse that's controlled environment, or do you want wild kids that are grown on the vine? And I'm looking at her going, well, I'm not really sure where you're going with this. And she goes, okay, greenhouse kids. Perfect conditions, not too much rain, not too much sun, no crazy wind, everything's controlled, everything's perfect. She goes, I counsel those children that have become adults daily, and they are wanting to top themselves because their boyfriend's just gone off with another girl. They have never had traumatic, difficult experiences in life as children that they have to work through. So now as adults, they don't have those skills. Children grown on the vine, wild tomatoes, cyclones, rain, drought, floods, difficulty. These are obviously analogies for the challenges that kids go through in life. No, we would never choose willingly to put our kids through hardship, but hardship happens, life happens. And they're the kids that are growing up with resiliency. They're the kids that are watching you model how you bounce back from a difficult situation. You as a parent can go through those hardships, go through the difficulty of being a working parent, sit down and talk about it with your kids and go, I wish I could spend more time with you. This is how mum's feeling. How can we make this different? Can we have half an hour together a week, dedicated you and me time, or whatever form it takes? And I was like, I am so off the hook. Okay, my kids are okay. They're wild tomatoes. Oh, and at the end of all this, she said, which ones taste better? The greenhouse tomatoes that have no taste but they're all juicy, or the wild tomatoes and you put them in your mouth and there's an explosion of taste. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I think it's a good analogy, and I do prefer the wild children in adult life.
Not as children.
I'm not babysitting the wild ones in child life. But look, we do need to remind all our listeners that we are user-supported. We're providing quality and fun content for you, just like Andreas Antonopoulos. So we are asking that you support us on Patreon and send some love.
So that means you can jump on our link, it's in the show notes, or you can go straight to the website to our Patreon page, and you can subscribe from anywhere from $5 or $6 a month, which is less than, a couple of cups of coffee, right through to the higher levels of $25 plus a month. And for those various levels, you get different little thank yous from us, in addition to all the free content that we're providing right here.
Which is a lot. Oh, geez, we're outpouring with love.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us this week, everybody. Thank you, Amy Rose, and I shall talk to you soon.
See you next week.
Bye.
Crypto Clothesline.